This is Herman Thorson from the Thorson Law Offices on the ongoing video e-alert series for mortgage loan originator organizations and mortgage loan originators in order to keep them in compliance and out of trouble with the various compliance organizations such as the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. We'll start off with on how the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, in this attorney's opinion, hurts the mortgage loan originator. For example, loan originator organizations can do, at least in California, real estate and the mortgage loan on the same transaction. We're excluding FHA transaction from what I'm saying. So thus, if the mortgage loan originator organization lists and or sells the property, and also the organization does the mortgage loan originator organization can collect the real estate fee, which may be anywhere from 3 to 6% depending on whether it's the selling broker, the listing broker, or both, and can also collect the origination fee on the loan itself. However, the mortgage loan originator that's actually doing the work cannot. While the organization can keep the real estate commission, the mortgage loan originator cannot get any part of it. The originator can only get the mortgage loan origination fee, which is agreed to in the written agreement and cannot vary. If you want the citations to this, as an aside, you can go to the 2013 Loan Originator Rule for Small Entity Compliance Guide, which was published on January 13th of this year, and merely turn to page 26 to see how you, as a mortgage loan originator, get burned by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Now, disclosures required by Reg OZ for MLO organizations and originators. The NMLS and your license information. It has to be on certain documents. And it must be listed on the loan documents. Regulation Z requires mortgage lenders to include on certain loan documents, whenever the lender provides the document to the borrower for signature, in addition to the lender's own name and the lender's own NMLSRD, the name and the NMLSR ID of the individual loan originator with primary responsibility for the origination must be on these documents. There are 3, so just remember the number 1, 2, 3, just like baseball. 1, 2, 3, you're out. The credit application must have the organization, name of the lender, the ID, and also the loan originator's name and ID that has primary responsibility for the loan. It must be on the note or the loan contract, whatever the case may be. And it must be on the security agreement, which is the deed of trust or the mortgage, whichever state you happen to be in. If you do not have both the lender information and the originator information, then you will get in trouble. We have a person that contacted us from Texas, and the Texas Department of Finance, which rules and regulates loan originators, asked this mortgage loan originator, which is a very, very, very small shop, for their red flag manual and their anti-money laundering manual, which we have told you time and again you need. This is basically a one-person shop. Not basically, in fact it is. And it's the first thing the auditor asked for over the telephone. So if you don't have them, you have a problem. If you need one, you can contact Sean Thorson of our office. But be aware of the 3 documents. The credit app, the note, and the security interest must have both the organization, and it must have the primary loan originator responsible for the loan. So if 2 or more loan originators work on the loan documents, the one with primary responsibility has to be on it. And to finalize it, if you don't do the disclosures correctly, you may wind up paying a $500,000 penalty as the loan originator organization, as was done to Realty South of Alabama. In May, this past May, last month, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau ordered Realty South, the largest real estate firm in Alabama, to pay $500,000 for inadequate disclosures that could leave the consumers unaware of their right to choose service providers during the home buying process. And so where the consumer has a right to elect the service organization that they need to deal with, as for example, say the escrow company or the title company, and you fail to give them the option and fail to disclose they have that right, you too can be hit with a fine. And since the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is ultra liberal in favor of the consumer, I would say don't take the risk. As a final thought, if you or your consumers are using your credit cards, and this is outside the CFPB, but it deals primarily with potential identity theft, your identity. The retailer that's taking your credit card cannot ask you for your email address, your telephone number, or your zip code. They can use this along with your name that's on the credit card to obtain your home addresses and track and store your purchases and use the information for their own marketing purposes. In addition to being unlawful in California, it puts you as a consumer seriously at risk for identity theft and fraud by dishonest law clerks, not necessarily the owner of the store, but the clerk who may be selling the information. And in one particular case, in fact it's a personal injury case we were involved in many years ago, the client slipped and fell on a store in Ralph's. Part of the defense was he drank too much liquor. Now, they never asked this at a deposition, so how did they find out? They took his information that they stored on what his purchases were and found out he was buying a lot of liquor from the store. And based on the amount of liquor being bought, they figured he was drunk at the time and used the amount of liquor he bought to work against him in that case. Thank you all for watching again on this ongoing series of education for mortgage loan originators and lenders. If you enjoyed this series, then please subscribe below, and by all means please feel free to share it with others in the industry or otherwise that you feel might enjoy watching it. If you have any subjects that you would like to see us cover, either on mortgage loans, personal injury, mortgage fraud, or any other subject, even outside of real estate, by all means please let us know by the comment, and we will endeavor to cover that subject to your interest and hopefully enjoyment. Thank you all again for watching, and we will see you next time.